Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to be looking closely at the strategy coming out of Rocket Companies, specifically from their CEO, Varun Krishna, after the Q3 2025 earnings. Yeah, our goal here is really to get a handle on what's happening in, well, a really volatile sector. We want to quickly unpack the CEO's view on the quarter, those huge integrations, Redfin and Mr. Cooper and his whole vision for becoming this category of one. We're sticking just to the CEO's main points from his opening remarks today.
Right. And it's a really interesting look at how you manage, extreme ups and downs. The real challenge, the tension in what the CEO laid out is how they managed to deliver today, as he put it, in what's basically a historically slow market, while at the same time pulling off these massive long-term structural changes with the integrations. It's like walking a tightrope, isn't it? Balancing today's results with these huge bets on the future.
Okay, so let's start with that context, Section 1, Q3, and the market itself. Because calling Q3 complex feels like, well, a bit of an understatement, right? If you were thinking of buying or refinancing, the signals were all over the place.
Oh, definitely. We did see, maybe, a slow thaw. A little bit. Affordability ticked up just slightly. The 30-year fixed rate dropped about 40 basis points, down to around 6.3%.
Okay.
And home price growth. That slowed down quite a bit, too, down to 3.1% year over year, much lower than earlier in the year. So, yeah, maybe a tiny bit of breathing room for buyers.
But even with those, let's say, slightly positive signs, the overall market was still pretty sluggish, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely not healthy. Existing home sales are still stuck around that 4 million unit mark, annually speaking. When you step back, 2025, it's looking like the slowest year for existing home sales since 1995.
Wow, since 1995.
Yeah, and that's the key context for the CEO's remarks. His point was, this huge slowdown hasn't destroyed demand. It's just bottling it up, creating this massive pent-up demand. People are ready to go, basically, but they're waiting for a really clear signal before jumping back in.
Okay, so slowest market in 3 decades. That makes their Q3 results beating their adjusted revenue guidance, hitting $1.783 billion, even more striking. How do you actually do that when things are that slow?
It really speaks to the flexibility of their platform, I think.
Yeah.
The moment that little window opened up, and it was mostly refinance activity, driving it as rates dipped slightly, Rocket could just, floor it.
Shift into overdrive, as they put it.
Exactly. Their net rate lock volume jumped to $36 billion. That's up 26% from Q2. And closed loans hit $32 billion, up 11%.
And the result was gaining market share in both purchase and refi.
Yeah, they called it their strongest Q3 in 3 years for both.
Yeah.
That's a pretty strong signal to competitors, It suggests they have a structural edge, not just getting lucky with the market timing. And the financials back that up. Adjusted EBITDA hit $349 million. Margins jumped to 20%.
20%, up from 13% the quarter before.
Right, a big jump. Adjusted diluted EPS was 7 cents. That margin growth, driven by lower costs and their tech, is really central to the CEO's whole story about building a resilient business. They basically proved they can grab those fleeting opportunities way more efficiently.
And we should just quickly note, the big Mr. Cooper deal closed October 1st, right on time, which, sets up everything we're going to talk about next, with those financials rolling in starting Q4.
Yep, a crucial piece of the puzzle.
All right, Section 2, AI. That kind of performance, that agility and margin boost, how did they do it? The CEO seems almost, well, he used the word obsessed with AI.
He did. And he ties AI directly to, everything strategic. It has to grow leads, boost conversion, cut costs, increase recapture, all of it. And the big thing this quarter wasn't just standard AI. It was what he called the agentic era of AI.
The agentic era. Okay, is that just buzz, or does it mean something fundamentally different for how mortgages get done?
No, it's more than just marketing speak. Think about it like this. Old AI analyzed data, maybe made recommendations. Agentic AI actually does things. These agents can complete complex tasks on their own, make judgments within certain rules. They're moving from being just tools to being active workers in the process.
Okay, active workers.
Yeah, and he gave 3 really concrete examples of these new agents they launched, basically overnight.
All right, let's break those down. First one, the pipeline manager agent. Sounds like it helps loan officers convert leads.
Exactly. It's like a smart assistant for the LO. It analyzes the pipeline in real time, tells them who's the best lead to call right now, and this is key. It actually drafts customized text for them to send.
It writes the text.
Yeah, based on the client's situation. And during that refi surge in September, this one agent apparently drove a 9-point increase in follow-ups and a 10% lift in conversions. That's AI directly adding to the bottom line.
Okay, that's impressive. Then the cost-saving one, the purchase agreement review agent. That sounds like it tackles a huge paperwork headache.
It tackles the biggest one, arguably.
Yeah.
Reviewing purchase agreements used to be like 80 manual steps, data entry, checking things, compliance, tedious stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This AI agent cuts the processing time by 80%. 80%, and saves over 150,000 hours of team member work annually. But here's the kicker the CEO emphasized. The AI is more accurate than the old manual way.
Wow. Faster and more accurate. Okay. And the third one focused on their broker partners, the Rocket Pro broker underwriting agent.
Right. This one is all about making things faster and easier for the broker partners.
Mm-hmm.
It checks documents, creates summaries for compliance and tasks. Stuff that used to take a partner maybe 4 hours, now it's under 15 minutes.
15 minutes. That's a massive difference.
Huge competitive advantage for brokers using their platform, you know.
What really jumps out at me, though, is the speed. The CEO said these big enterprise-level tools were built and deployed in less than 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That speed, it says a lot about their underlying tech, for sure. But it also makes you wonder, right? How fast can they keep doing this? How quickly is this going to change everything if they can roll out changes that fast?
That's the big question. And that speed leads right into the next piece, Section 3, the huge integrations.
Right, Redfin and Mr. Cooper.
Yeah, the CEO's argument is that the real power isn't just owning these pieces, it's weaving them together, combining their different strengths to make something, you know, bigger than some of its parts. A single ecosystem.
Okay, so in that ecosystem, what's Redfin's specific job?
Redfin brings in the leads. It's that low-cost source of people who are already looking for homes, right? High-intent leads. So it massively boosts the top of the funnel and cuts down how much it costs to find a new customer.
Makes sense. And Mr. Cooper, that provides the scale and stability at the other end.
Exactly. Mr. Cooper brings this enormous, steady stream of servicing revenue. And crucially, it massively expands their ability to do what the industry calls recapture.
Okay, let's define recapture for listeners.
Sure. Recapture is basically getting your existing servicing clients, people whose loans you already manage, to come back to you for their next loan, whether it's a refi or a new purchase.
And that's valuable because you already have the relationship.
Precisely. The cost to get that second loan from them is almost zero. So those recapture loans are super high margin.
Got it. And when you put Redfin, Rocket, and Mr. Cooper together, the sheer scale is...
Yeah. And he pointed out that 13% of Rocket's retail purchase loans in September came from people who use both Redfin and Rocket. So the integration is clearly working right out of the gate.
Okay, now the Mr. Cooper side. The goal here is building the biggest recapture engine ever, basically.
That's the ambition. And merging the #1 originator with the #1 servicer, that's a huge operational lift. But what's really impressive is how fast they started executing after the deal closed.
How fast are we talking?
Okay, get this. Day 9. 9 days after closing, they already had 40,000 leads flowing from the Mr. Cooper servicing portfolio into the Rocket system.
Day 9. Wow.
Incredible readiness, right? And then, day 12, they closed their first loan for a former Mr. Cooper client, start to finish, in just 3 days.
3 days, start to finish on a refi or purchase. That's incredibly fast.
Sets a totally new standard. And within just the first few weeks, they had 400 loan officers trained and ready to handle that new volume. With the combined servicing book now approaching 10 million clients, they're proving they can run this massive integrated recapture machine immediately.
Okay, so Section 4, putting it all together. The CEO calls this new setup a category of one. He's arguing they've broken the old industry model where companies were just originators or servicers or real estate platforms.
Exactly. He's pitching Rocket now as a true homeownership company. End-to-end integration, vertical integration, all at a scale nobody else has. And this whole structure, he argues, is built specifically to beat the mortgage industry's biggest weakness, that wild market volatility.
Right, the boom and bust cycle.
Yeah.
So how does this integrated structure actually help them perform well no matter what interest rates are doing?
It acts like a natural hedge, basically, a self-balancing system. When rates are high, like now, the origination side slows down, obviously, but that massive servicing portfolio, now the biggest in the business, keeps generating steady, predictable cash flow. And the value of their mortgage servicing rights, the MSRs, actually goes up.
Okay, MSR's mortgage servicing rights. Let's quickly unpack that. Why does their value increase when rates are high?
Right. So think of an MSR as the right to collect the payments and manage a specific mortgage. When interest rates are high, people with existing low-rate mortgages tend to hang on to them for much longer, right?
Right.
They're not going to refinance into a higher rate.
Makes sense.
So that guarantees the servicer a longer, more stable stream of income from managing that loan. That predictable long-term income makes the MSR asset itself more valuable in a high-rate environment. It provides really important financial stability when originations are slow.
Okay, got it. So high rates boost servicing value, and then when rates eventually fall.
That's when the other side kicks in. When rates drop, huge chunks of that giant 10 million client servicing portfolio suddenly become prime candidates for refinancing or maybe using their equity for a new purchase. That feeds directly into the origination business, creating those high-margin recapture opportunities we talked about.
So it's structurally balanced.
Exactly. It's designed to perform reasonably well regardless of the rate cycle.
And this whole setup, the integration, the AI, that's what the CEO means when he says they've cracked the code on unit economics.
That's the idea. You've got Redfin bringing in leads efficiently at the top.
Yeah.
You've got AI slashing the cost to process loans in the middle. And you've got the servicing book creating high-value repeat business through recapture at the back end. It means lower costs, higher lifetime value per client.
And it frees up their people, right?
Right.
Less task work, more advising.
That's the goal. Shifting human effort towards advice and relationships, letting the tech handle the routine stuff, and ultimately the CEO keeps bringing it back to the customer experience, delivering speed, certainty, good rates, to earn the right to be, as he puts it, their lender for life. That's the standard they're trying to set. So wrapping it up, the core idea here is pretty clear. The CEO is betting heavily on this massive vertical integration, supercharged by AI, specifically this agentic AI, to build a business model that's just fundamentally more resilient to the housing market cycles than anything before. And the scale they've built, touching 60 million people, that really does set a new benchmark for the industry. It's disruptive.
Okay, so here's a final thought, something for you listening to chew on. The CEO made a point of saying those powerful AI agents were built in under 3 weeks. If they can deploy tech that saves hundreds of thousands of hours that quickly, how fast will the rest of the mortgage process, both originating and servicing, get transformed? Could we see human roles shift almost entirely from task management to advisory roles in, say, the next 12 months? It feels like the future of work in this space is accelerating incredibly fast. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the Rocket Company strategy. We'll catch you on the next one.